All right.
I kind of worked that time.
Okay. Okay. Hi again.
Hey.
Last day in technologies is not a fan of mine.
I blame the weekend.
First of all, Nick, thank you so much for being here. First of all, when I texted you a couple days ago, I'm like, hey, do you have time to go do a live chat? And then you're like, okay, let's do this day. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Can you do Saturday? And Nick was like, I don't work on Saturday. But he's here today.
I've been so good. Like just recently, I've been so good about like working. I'm trying to work like 9 to 5 because I have a family now. I'm trying to like quit working and be with them instead of working 24/7. So I'm like, I'm not working weekends. And then Henry texts me and is like, do you want to do Saturday? I'm like, damn.
1 hour. That's all we're gonna do. So then you can go back to your baby and your wife. So tell us a little bit more about you. You just mentioned about your family. We want to know everything, like your photography, family, whatever you want to share with us.
Yeah. So I'm Nick. I'm a Taurus. I'm just kidding.
Same.
Really? That's awesome.
I am. Yeah.
I did not know that. So I am Nick. I am half of Nick plus Tanae. So me and my wife are both wedding and elopement photographers. I'm originally from Cleveland and she's from Southern California. We were photographers separate and we met on Instagram. Liked some photos. She thought it was weird. I liked some more photos. She thought it was cute. And then we got married.
Better than Tinder.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we lived in Cleveland for quite some time together. And then because we love the outdoors, we love hiking, we love camping, it brought us to the Pacific Northwest where we have some family. And we fell in love once we started traveling out here. And we moved and we called it home. And we've been here for 2 years-ish, just over 2 years. And yeah, we love it. And so we're full-time elopement photographers together. And then back in 2017, as we got more and more into elopements, we started like shooting these elopements, and then we wanted to get them featured places. And there wasn't a lot of places on the internet that featured elopements because there wasn't tons of vendors, there wasn't tons of details, there wasn't like a lot of things that normal blogs would look for in a feature for an elopement or for a feature. So being the entrepreneur that I am, I've owned a few businesses and I've always had that mindset. I thought I would just start a website, a blog that it was literally called Wandering Wedding or Wandering Photographers. And our whole purpose was to feature really epic elopements. So we wanted to focus on the imagery, focus on epic locations and couples doing things a little bit more non-traditional, skipping the big weddings and doing things the way they wanted to instead of listening to somebody else. And that became the blog. So I basically just started reaching out to friends and saying like, hey, I want to feature this awesome wedding you shot. And we started blogging and I'm like, okay, how do we get people to the blog? So we started the social media channels. We started Instagram, we started Pinterest, all those. And it became more and more of a big thing. People were loving it. And it was growing pretty rapidly, especially on Instagram. And we're like, okay, this is a lot of work. How do we turn this into making money, right? So I was spending hours and hours a day managing the blog and writing for the blog. And I just like, okay, we gotta monetize. So that turned into the directory. So our main goal is, it was just photographers at first. It was Wandering Photographers. We eventually rebranded into Wandering Weddings. But our main goal was we wanted to showcase epic photography and get those people's work in front of couples who were eloping. So yeah, that was like the base of the business.
Two things that I want to talk about. First of all, I like that you started this whole thing as a website first. Like it wasn't, because you know how like feature accounts on Instagram started left and right. They're just like you
everywhere.
And there's another feature account. And yesterday when Will and I talked, we talked about how fast a photo would just die off of Instagram. Like you post the photos, you get some sort of traffic, some sort of engagement. Within 24, 48 hours, you get likes, comments. Maybe some people find you and go to your website. And then after 48 hours, that photo is just done. Like there's nothing else to that photo. And so being featured on Instagrams, yeah, okay, cool. But then it doesn't really help with your business. And I like that you started with a website. I like that you didn't think that this will turn into like an Instagram account, but like as of today, you have like, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of followers or whatever on Instagram, which is helpful too. And the second thing I remember was when I first started following you and Wandering Weddings, it was Wandering Photographers. And I remember when you rebrand, you go into Wandering Weddings and instead of Wandering Photographers, which means create a new Instagram account on Instagram name, then a new domain for your website. I was like, are you sure? Because that was like so much work. But sitting here today, looking at Wandering Weddings and what it is, it makes so much more sense why you did what you did. Like, how was that rebranding process? Like, was it scary for you?
It was tricky too. And even things like the Instagram handle, Wandering Photographers. I basically had to make a Wandering Weddings Instagram handle, change the name, switch the accounts because so the followers and everything stayed. So no one and hope in that little bit of time, no one else
jump in.
That name.
Me.
And like we had like almost 1 million hashtags Wandering Photographers, and people are still hashtagging Wandering Photographers. So we started over with the Wandering Weddings hashtag, which is okay, right? It's no one's going back to like 1 million posts, the first post to like a photo and hire somebody. So that wasn't that big a deal, but it was scary. Different domain. The blog didn't have a lot of authority when we changed the name, but the more and more we thought about our business, it made more sense to bring in other vendors that focused on elopements and not just photographers. It's very photographer driven right now because our blog is all pictures, right? And we started as Wandering Photographers. But as we grow, we're bringing more and more videographers in. We're bringing planners in, officiants in, florists, basically all the vendors that make up an elopement. So we'll never have like cake artists because no one's really hiking up the mountain with the cake.
Yeah, I get it. There's some intimate elopements where people just want to do it in their backyard or like an Airbnb, which they will get a cake, but not the kind of adventurous, like true definition of adventurous elopements. Before we dive deeper into Wandering Weddings, because I'm pretty sure everybody here has tons of questions about it and then SEO and all that, I just want people to get to know you a little bit more, as in like what inspire you guys to get into elopements in the first place?
We love elopements, but we also love big weddings. So that it's kind of some people are like, no, I hate big weddings, and that's why I got into elopements. There's definitely something special for us about a big party, and if you have 100 guests that are that close to you and it can feel like an intimate setting and have a big old party, that's awesome, and we love that. But the adventurous side of myself and my wife love the elopements, right? So we love for ourselves, we love hiking, we love being outside, we love camping, we love going on adventures, and that translated very well into our photography. So now we're like, okay, we can have our business, which is photographers, and we can incorporate something we truly love. And it's kind of funny because every time, and I'm sure you get this too when you're out there with your couple, you're like, how is this my job? This is so awesome. Like, this is beautiful. They're getting married. There's mountains. Like, I just want to cry. The sun's setting. Like I scream every time we shoot an elopement, and it's just like picture perfect. But yeah, like that's what keeps us going. And that's why we love this so much, is like we genuinely love going out there and adventuring with our couples. It's a little trickier now that we have a 4-month-old, but
yeah. And for you guys who don't know, they just have a brand new baby too. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's been fun being stuck at home and taking care of a child. So
yeah, we had a little chat before we went on live here. I was just telling Nick, it's sort of like you have to find your silver lining, and I think that's your silver lining. And like the situation is that you get to be home with your baby instead of just like kind of stuck. There's always something to do with her, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she keeps us busy.
So how, like, let's just talk about that first elopement ever. Like, I still do you remember your first elopement that you photographed? And then like, how did you get that couple to book you for the elopement?
So our first elopement actually happened when we lived back in Cleveland.
Was it in Cleveland as well?
Yeah, yep. Which was it was not necessarily an adventurous elopement. We started like moving our style towards like the more outdoorsy, adventurousy stuff. In Cleveland, it's a little bit trickier. It's like, hey, go stand by that tree or that bush, and like, there's not a lot of like scenery there. But we started doing that stuff, and we actually, our first elopement was just a couple and an officiant, and they said their vows under like this cool like arbor on this amazing property, and they booked us for like 6 hours, and we literally they got ready together, which was like the first time one of our couples got ready together. They're a little bit older couple, but I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like, why do people have to like stay apart in the morning of the wedding day? You already know what you look like. Why can't you share that moment together and be together on your wedding day for the whole day?
Yeah.
So they got ready together, which was super cool. We did like 2 hours of portraits to start, and then they like did their ceremony and read their vows, and then we finished with like another hour of portraits, and then we came inside and they shared some words with each other and opened a bottle of champagne and had a couple of drinks together, and there's just me and Danae there with them the whole time, and like it was such an intimate setting, and it felt so special for us to be there to share that with them. Like, you chose us out of everybody in the world to be in that room with you during those moments. So it's super cool to be part of such an intimate moment for people. And we kind of got addicted from there. And then it just kind of translated to the adventures outdoors stuff, which is even cooler.
Yeah. Did you guys move to Seattle because you want to get more elopements, or was it just because family and just a new place to live?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went hand in hand. We loved like the outdoors, and we had some family here. If anyone's familiar with the Seattle area on Bainbridge Island, just off the west coast of Seattle. So the more and more we came to visit them, we fell in love with the area and the idea of having our business here. Yeah, it did help our elopements, right? So there's more water here, there's more mountains, there's more beautiful locations, which helps for sure. But it just felt like home for us. So we said, let's do this, and we still shoot, like I said, we still shoot big weddings, we still shoot Seattle weddings. We don't. So our brand is Nick plus Danae, and if you look at our Instagram, you only see adventurous stuff. But truth be told, we shoot like 20 plus big weddings a year on top of all the elopements. So yeah, we just don't necessarily show those to keep it consistent across our social media. But if you go to our website, or if anyone emails us, we have full galleries and examples we send our couples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same thing. Like I do like elopements because, like we get to go outside and like all these adventurous places, and it's beautiful, and it just like blow my mind, right? But then part of me is like, I still like that weddings, like that actually, like what speaks to my heart the most is like the intimate weddings, like the 50 to 80 people weddings where people get to hang out, party, twerk on the dance floor, like all the fun stuff. Yeah. So if it's like a fun, intimate weddings, like at an Airbnb with crazy, awesome views, then I probably will share about it like on social media or like on my website. But if it's like a traditional wedding at like a venue with 120 people, I haven't shared any of those photos at all. And I shot like 15 to 20 of them last year. And I nowhere on my Instagram that people see that. For those of you guys who just tune in right now, Nick and I are talking about wandering weddings and SEO and everything soon. If you guys have any questions, ask us in the comment box. We'll try to get back to you at the end of our talk. And the last couple of days, we've been doing drinking games where you drink something when people ask questions. I don't know if you have drinks from nearby. I saw your water, which is fine.
I forgot about a drink. What are you drinking?
That's coconut water, but I put it in here to trick people so that people think that this is alcohol, but it just literally just coconut water.
So text Viet and tell him to bring you a drink.
No. He's probably watching right now or not.
I'm texting Danae. Please bring Coors Light. We'll see what happens.
Anyway, so let's dive right into like marketing, because I think the biggest thing, what make you guys so successful beside your beautiful photos, like every time I look at your photo, I mean, I follow you before I followed Wandering Photographers back then.
Yeah.
I remember me working full time at the hospital, night shift. You used to live in Cleveland, and 3 or 4 a.m. my time would be the time you opened your coffee shop, or back then, and then I would like talk with you on Instagram DMs, and that's how I found you. And yeah, like your work is amazing, but the thing about people watching at home too is that you can have amazing work, but if you don't market yourself right, no one is going to figure out who you are or learn about your name or what you can do. So for both your personal business and Wandering Weddings, how do you market yourself? Like, how do you put your names out there? What have been something that's been successful for you guys? Like, was it Instagram, SEO, Pinterest? Share anything you want to share. Oh, we have drinks.
Thanks, honey. Love you. All right, now I'm prepared for all the questions.
I should have just said this is vodka in here. This is
straight vodka.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different from our photography business to Wandering Weddings. As you can imagine, they're kind of different monsters. For our, it's funny, you text me to put together that slideshow and you're like, add your logo in the end. And I'm like, I don't have a logo. Like, we don't have a logo. We've never had a logo. And it's not because we have anything against logos. It's just like our logo is just text because our brand is me and Danae. We sell ourselves. If someone hires me because like my font on my website, I'd be a little concerned if they're hiring me for the right reasons. I want to sell myself and Danae, and I want them to love our photography. So as long as I have those two things, and we really focus on that personal connection with our couples, and I'm sure you can relate to that as well. Obviously, that having a cohesive look across like social media and your website and all that stuff helps. But we're really huge on personal connection, and we've had people ask, how we've been so successful over the years, and it's hard to tell them that like it's them, right? So like it's you that has to step up and be the face of your company. It's not like redoing your website 15 times. It's not like, I don't know. I'm kind of going on a side tangent, but I would just say focus on yourself and the connection with the couples, because that's what you're doing. You're selling yourself. Yeah.
I think I went on your website. Your website looks really classy. Like, it's one of those classy websites where everything is easy to navigate. It's beautiful. Like, you don't need to spend like thousands of dollars to get someone to design your website, or to get someone to design your logo, or like change the colors on your website, like you say, 20 times just to book people. I think to start with a fresh, easy, clean looking website where all the information about you and your business is so easily available, so that people can just look at it and don't have to like go search for it, which is exactly what you guys are doing. That's amazing. But do you think, with just, of course, having a home base, which is your website, is perfect, but then for marketing purposes, do you get most of your clients through Pinterest? Is it because they find you on Google or some sort of listing somewhere? That aspect is, I think a lot of people would want to know.
Yeah. So we've always been in the mindset where we want to get our name and our work in front of as many people who are physically looking for our services as possible. Social media is great, right? But 95, I don't know, that's a rough number, percent of those people that are seeing your work on there aren't necessarily even engaged or ever going to, they might already be married. They might never be your client. While followers look great, they sometimes don't translate to paying clients. They definitely do 100% because Instagram has done well for us, and other social media channels. But we try to get our name in front of as many people as possible who are looking for work. And on top of that, you can't go all in on one platform and expect it to get you everything, right? So you have to be everywhere. So like you said, we're on Instagram. Pinterest is huge now. A lot of people are using Pinterest to pin wedding inspiration and hire vendors, or find vendors and then hire them. We're on directories, so as much as we dislike it, we're on the Knot. We pay them $500 a month to have a listing there.
Are you guys page one?
Yeah, we're featured, not top 6 spots, but we're page 1. We'll probably, not that this matters with the marketing question, but we're probably going to stop the Knot just because it doesn't really align with what the client we want. However, we do a lot of business with the Knot. Like we've done well. But yeah, you have to be in as many places as possible. SEO is also huge. And I know we're going to dive in pretty deep with that sometime in this call.
Yeah.
But I think that the short answer to what you asked was you have to be on all those things. You have to be on Instagram, you have to be on Pinterest, and you have to be on your blog. It's got to be up to date. You got to be on directories. Yeah. So you have to be everywhere.
Yeah. So since we're going to be talking about SEO, for people who are sitting at home right now and want to know about SEO and Wandering Weddings, what are some things that Wandering Weddings can help? Like, would you recommend people submitting their work? Like, what are backlinks from Wandering Weddings to the website? We know what they are. I just want you to be able to explain it to some people who've never heard of them, just so that they can get some sort of like idea of like why being on Wandering Weddings can help with their business.
Yep. So yeah, getting featured on a blog or a publication can help essentially what you're getting out of that is you're getting a backlink from that company, whether it be Junebug or whether it be Wandering Weddings or wherever it is. When they write your blog post, they add your company name and they link it to your website, and Google sees that as, this big authority, so like a Wandering Weddings or a Junebug, they're pretty high, they're high up in the credibility. If you want to get crazy about it, the domain rating. So the more trusted domains have a higher domain rating, and the more links you can get from higher domain rating websites will boost your own website. So that when you write things on your blog to rank for certain topics, you have a better chance of ranking page 1 for those in Google. So 100% backlinks from Wandering Weddings and Junebug and bigger blogs help. We offer those in multiple. Some blogs are different. Some people don't like feature weddings and they don't offer follow backlinks, so that they'll link you, but they're basically telling Google not to follow. Everything on our website on Wandering Weddings is a follow backlink. So, which means it says we're telling Google, I trust this site that we're linking to. They're credible, and to track that, to index that in Google search. So yeah, if we feature you, if you submit a wedding to us and we feature you, it's a link to your site. It's a follow link. We also link if you have a listing on our site. So if you pay a monthly fee to be part of our directory, just kidding, it's not monthly anymore, it's annual. But yeah, you get a link with that. And if you get deep into SEO, there's definitely, so the first link you get from a website is like the most powerful. Additional links do help because it raises the total number of backlinks you have. But the first one's always the most powerful. So it does help to get featured on somewhere 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Plus, it's also like a credibility thing where like people see you featured over and over again, and it's increasing your backlinks. But yeah, it definitely helps your own website's domain authority. So if you're trying to rank for Seattle elopement photographer, having a link from a credible source, raising your domain rating helps get you higher in the search. So did I answer that right?
Yeah, 100%. One thing that I'm pretty obsessed with SEO in a way. Like
You are?
I'm more obsessed with it than actually editing photos or like
Yeah.
photography. Sometimes I feel like, should I just work on the SEO stuff instead of just like be a photographer? Because what I do is like I would do like blog posts or like whatever else, and then I would track to a certain keyword to see like where I'm ranking. And sometimes I look up Washington elopement photographer, and what sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'll be like the first spot, but then Wandering Weddings would take over and then be the first spot before my spot, and I'm here like it, with Wandering Weddings being such a on a higher ranking because you have more backlinks to your website and it's a trustworthy source. Of course, you're going to rank higher than I can, and I can see why being listed on the directory as a Washington elopement photographer can help people who don't really know much about SEO or haven't really done much work on their website, like SEO optimize their website.
Correct. Yeah. If you do a quick Google search, and if you're doing that, use incognito, by the way. Don't use like regular Google because it'll use your history and your location to give you the right results. So use incognito. And if you like say Google search, like you said, Washington elopement photographer, and you see someone like Wandering Weddings or like Junebug, or the Knot ahead of you, in Google search, and there's an opportunity to get a backlink from a company that's higher up on you on Google, that is a good backlink to have, because that's going to say, you're going to get a backlink from someone that's ranking better than you for the terms you want to rank for. So that'll help you immensely, much more so than getting a backlink from someone that's ranking page 8 for that keyword. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, and while like a photographer is usually only trying to rank for one location or two locations, we have it's me and a full-time blogger, so that's our job, right? So we're trying to get as many page one, spot one keywords as possible. So we're trying to rank for every single state in the United States, most countries, most keywords. We blog a lot though. When you say you're obsessed with it, that's an understatement for us. We're definitely like in it. And we're still learning too. Like it's new, pretty new for us. We're learning new things every day, and we're implementing them as we go. So it's exciting to watch the numbers grow.
Yeah. So beside weddings, what else do you guys take as like, let's say someone who haven't done an adventure weddings, but they really are interested in being featured? Do you take engagement sessions as well? Like, what do you take? Like, what are some sort of shoots that you would take on?
Yeah. So we love real weddings first and foremost. Those usually do the best for SEO. Those are what people are searching for. Excuse me. We do blog engagements, but we get a lot of submissions for engagements. We're getting 20 to 30 submissions a day sometimes. So we're going through all those, and we can't feature everything, unfortunately. So when we're kind of going through things, we're really looking for stuff that we haven't featured before, so we can rank for new terms. A lot of times, so basically, we're looking for styled shoots, engagements, and elopements. That's basically the only thing that gets submitted to us. As far as like a total number of things that can be submitted, but yeah, we're looking for things that haven't been featured before, so we can rank for new topics. Our blog team, well, Amanda, I say our team, we only have one full-time blogger, but she has like a folder where if it's not necessarily all the way there for a full feature, she'll keep it in like a retainer where if we ever do like a blog post and like top places to elope in Moab. And she'll like have a folder of everything, all the submissions that she declined from Moab, and she'll pull from those. And like as we write the article of like how to elope in Moab or best places to elope in Moab, she'll use those photos and then she'll email those photographers and say, hey, you were featured in this article. Thanks for sharing your images, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. And so since we're talking about submissions, and for someone who wants to be featured, and let's say they want to submit the one elopement that they have shot, well, with location, they can't control that because like depends on the couple or whatever. But let's just say they shot at a cool location and they're ready to submit to you guys. What are something they need to consider? Like, do they need to crop the photos a certain way? What kind of photos are you guys looking for? Details, kiss. What are something that would make their portfolio stand out so that you guys would take that one submission rather than the other?
Yeah. One, we're looking for variety, right? So we don't want just like all wide shots. We want some tight shots. We want some detail shots. Basically, think of yourself as a storyteller, like most photographers do, and make sure make sure we can tell the story of this elopement. Where if someone's looking down through the photos, they see what happened on that day. A lot of times, these little pieces are missing, which is hard for us to tell the story to a reader if chunks are missing. So yeah, if there's a getting ready, we love seeing getting ready stuff, just like whatever that looks like. Obviously, we love like epic shots of the ceremony. Just a little bit of everything. So, what was your first question? What was your first?
Do they need to crop their photos at all, or like just keep it the same? Because I remember seeing somewhere, not on your website, but so many other wedding blogs out there want people to crop it vertical, like a vertical photo, so that they can just, because everybody's on mobile. So if they're on like your website, it's already easier to see. Or like if you pin, like go on Pinterest, do you require people to crop? Do you care? Do you not care?
We don't care. We like a good variety of horizontal and vertical, just so we have different options to use in different locations, right? So if it's like a featured image, or we're using it up top or on our like the blog listing, we like the vertical images. But we also like horizontal images because people on desktop that are scrolling, like sometimes the vertical images run off both sides of the page, and we like to be able to see the whole picture on there. So we like a good variety of vertical and horizontal. No particular crop. It can be square if you want, or most people just submit it 3x2 like a normal camera shoots.
Yeah. So I think for everybody's asking questions, we're not ignoring you guys. We see it. We also see Chewy already saying you two are sexy, love all the information. You rank #1 in my heart. Of course. Chewy. And then someone say, Jesus is here with the killer punts. Jesus is here. So we'll take questions and go ahead and ask anything about SEO or being featured or blog post, anything you want to know. I just have one more question for Nick, and then we'll take questions from you guys. One last thing that I would just want to pick your brain on is if someone, people are sitting at home working on their website today, let's just say 3 things that you think they should do to help them rank better on Google.
3 things.
I'm
just gonna start throwing them out there. So I think a big misconception about blogging is that people think blogging is just posting their current engagement sessions and their current weddings, and somehow magically they're going to get more traffic from that. And that's very wrong. It's SEO and blogging. Blogging for SEO to rank in Google is very strategic, and you need to know what keywords have the most volume and what keywords have the most keyword difficulty, which means how hard or easy they are to rank. So there's some SEO tools out there. We use SEMrush. There's some free tools as well. I know Ahrefs is a pretty good tool as well. They're both paid. They're about $100 a month for those. But to do the research, and I would say if you are just starting out, you want to kind of go after the low-hanging fruit. Don't try to rank for wedding dresses. don't write a blog post for wedding dresses if you're just starting out and try to rank for it, because you're competing with brides.com, you're competing with The Knot, you're competing with Golden, and Junebug, like, and us. It's not going to happen. We have a hard time ranking for big keywords. That's why, and we're still kind of going after the low hanging fruit as well. So rank for things that have a low keyword difficulty. And you can, if they have 100 searches a month total and basically no competition, that's 100 clicks to your site a month that you can rank for if you grab the keyword. So take your time, do your research. Usually resource type posts are driving more traffic than just like Bill and Sarah's wedding at Yosemite. So instead of writing like Bill and Sarah's wedding in Yosemite, I don't know why I picked those names, but write a resource on how to elope in Yosemite, or best places to elope in Yosemite, or best time of year to elope in Yosemite. And like those keywords are going to have a smaller, lower volume, but lower competition as well. And I always tell people to, when you're writing a blog post and when you're thinking about what to put on your blog, really put yourself in the searcher's shoes. So if you go to a website and what you searched for is not immediately on that page, what do? You leave. So like the first thing you wanted to see on that page is think about, if you were to search for that term, what would you want to see? And start there. So searcher intent is huge. So is that 3 or is that 2 or is that 0?
That's like, I think you talked about 6, 7 things just now. I'm still on the trial version of SEM Rush. So I'll play with it. So far, it has a lot of information and data into like my competition as well, and it's really interesting to see who's I'm competing against.
Yep,
too.
That's another thing too. Those tools show it's kind of gross how much information they show, because I can look up your site and
anyone,
every keyword you rank for, and the page on your site that makes you rank for that. And then being that this sounds bad, but like being that we have a higher domain rating and higher authority, as long as I rewrite that post better than you, I'm going to outrank you. It'll take a while. It'll take, and that's another tip too, is don't expect results overnight with SEO. They take like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
To like sometimes longer for bigger keywords. Also, another tip, and this is from Dylan and Corey's SEO course.
Yeah.
Published is better than perfection. So like some people like go crazy. Like, I want to make sure this is perfect. This is the perfect resource, perfect information. The best thing to do is to write an article for what you want to write it on and publish it and see how it ranks in Google. It might go page 1 right off the bat. And you can perfect it and make it better. It might be page 2 or 3. And then you can always revisit that later, rewrite it, re-index it, or perfect it, or add stuff to it, and keep bumping it up. But the sooner you can get things in front of Google and start ranking for stuff, the better. And sometimes you don't know what you're going to rank for, or how some terms are going to rank good, some terms might not rank good. So what we do is we kind of like put out 10 articles, get them launched, go back in a couple of weeks and see where they're ranking. And then the ones that are ranking the highest and driving the most traffic, we'll go back to those and perfect them to get them even higher, because they're already driving traffic. It's already like doing it for us. So we just want to get closer to spot 1.
Yeah.
So
I like that a lot, because for photographers out there, the one that's like creating art, our big instinct is perfection over anything, right? Because you not perfect a gallery before you deliver that gallery. But with SEO, it's reverse of everything that you're so used to. And that was my mistake the first year of learning about SEO. Like my first year, I just wanted to learn all the keywords and blah, 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 and whatever else. And then I have to like finish and perfect a whole entire blog post before I even put it out. But lately, since quarantine, I've been pushing out like at least 1 blog per day. I haven't really announced it anywhere on the internet. Hey, check out my blog post. Yeah. Just like push it out there. And then later on, once I perfect it, then I'll like, hey, check out this blog post about like Bill and Sarah at Yosemite.
Yeah, and it's cool to tell people, yeah, I blogged this wedding, but and it's good to get that initial like traffic stream from social, which helps basically tell Google this is a relevant article and there's people going to see it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're like for Nick Plus Today, we blog all the time and we don't post it anywhere. Like it just goes to Google and gets us ranked. So also I just read Haley's comment and laughed out loud inside. Laughed inside and loud. It said, Henry, how do you twerk so well? Nick, how is Danae so hot? Those were her questions.
Let's go straight on to questions then. I think you answered so many good, like you give us so many good tips so far about being feature and SEO. I'm actually sitting here like my mind is blown. So
this question is the drink thing, right?
Thing, yes. So I'll just go all the way to the top and I'll show the question here.
Ooh, that can do that?
Yeah, I don't know if you can, but
it's doing
on my end. Yeah. So for weddings, how much time do you recommend for getting ready for couple portraits should be? This is the drinking part.
Oh, drink.
Okay. Cheers.
Got it. So getting ready. What's that?
You didn't drink.
Oh. I was getting ready to answer the question.
So ready.
I'm terrible at this. So for getting ready, it all depends how much the couple wants. If someone is asking for like 4 hours of getting ready, we usually tell them, and if they have a time constraint, we usually tell them the last hour of getting ready is plenty, because the photos you're gonna like are the ones where you're like, you almost have all your hair and makeup done, and like you're kind of wrapping things up. The guys are super easy, just like throw your shirt and tie on and comb your hair and go. I would say an hour is plenty for getting ready. We like to grab detail shots too. So that's the time we like ask for their dress and ask for shoes and jewelry and lay that stuff out and grab shots of that. That also is different if you were at an elopement or a big wedding. An elopement, I'm sure you can touch on this too, is you sometimes you're getting ready at the top of a mountain. So it's just like when it's quick and easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I do it myself. So I usually do it like about an hour. I want you guys, since you guys shoot together and then one person take care of the other, but for like as a solo shooter, I have to start with details, and sometimes like just set up the flat lay itself takes forever. So about an hour for me, sometimes an hour and a half.
Yeah. Danae is good with that. I'm not that patient, and she's like good at laying them out and making it look all good.
The best ones are the one that I work with Viet. So when Viet is the planner or designer for that wedding or that elopement, what we do is we show up and I told Viet, you're in charge of this, and I just go take like makeup and dress and all that. When I come back, the whole flat lay is ready for me to take, and it's just like perfect, because he would just have like like ribbons out of nowhere, and I'm like, what? The couples don't know that, like they don't come with ribbons, like only planners and designers come with stuff like that.
Yeah, we usually just like go to a fern or like a tree and like borrow a little branch and like lay it out with it.
Nature. Okay, let's see.
And also an hour-ish for portraits is usually what we ask for. More if we can get it, which was the second part of that question.
This is the congratulations to your baby. I think when we talked about your brand new baby. Thank you.
Yay, babies.
This is not related to our talk, but I think we can talk about this too. For people rescheduling due to COVID, are you having them sign a new contract or just continuing your original?
I didn't sign up for COVID-19 questions.
Let's cheers, and I can answer this.
Cheers. Yep. And drink this time.
There you go. Any adjustment to date, money, venue, location, I make people sign a new thing. It just legally, that's something that you have to do. So you can do like an addendum. Yep. You don't have to send a whole new contract. Depends on what system you use as well.
Some CRMs have those for you too.
I use HoneyBook, and in the beginning, when COVID-19 started happening, HoneyBook didn't have anything to help us. So I spoke with a lawyer and get contract and everything started. But then now on HoneyBook, they do have their like resource or new addendum, COVID-19 addendum added for you. What do you use?
We use Tave, and yeah, they release like a just like a addendum, put this on your contract and have them sign it, make the changes you need. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And then this one is so you guys, and I think this is your question right here. For champagne pop photos, any tips? Cheers.
Cheers. I would say my number one tip for champagne photos, I guess two. Number one is depending on your lighting, because we do champagne pops usually at the end of the night once we're done with everything, and it gets pretty dark. And you want your shutter speed to be pretty fast. So if it's dark, even in the daytime, we like to crank our ISO pretty high, so we can get at least like 1/1000th of a second shutter speed. So all your little droplets are stopped and not like blurry moving. So that's a big one. And second, if you want like a frame filled with champagne spray, we actually get DMs on Instagram like, oh, what's that overlay? Like, where'd you get that? I'm like, no, that's real champagne. So we tell our couples to obviously shake it, pop it, put your thumb right over it, and aim it directly at us. Like we're like 10 feet back, maybe. We're like, don't worry if you get it on us, just like spray it directly at us, and basically like everything right in here, get it everywhere. And we like to use longer lenses sometimes that kind of compress the droplets, so it looks like there's more in the frame.
Yeah,
that's my 3 tips.
Yeah, I got champagne on me every single time, and one time I got pulled over, and I
smell
home, and I'd smell like alcohol, and I'm like, I'm sure I'll blow on your breathalyzer, but I didn't drink.
Just fell in a pool of champagne.
Yeah, that was a good one. So there's some people commenting, talking about the contract, so we'll skip those. I think this.
I'll make it better. Yeah.
This is a good one.
How often should I post? Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
I would say at least post once a day. I think if you're posting more, keep it consistent. And as far as better engagement on Instagram, 100%, 1,000,000%, just be genuine. That's the biggest thing. I think there's no shortcut to Instagram. Be genuine. Comment on people's stuff that you like truly like. Don't like people see through the bullshit. Like make sure it's genuine. Make sure like it's someone you enjoy their company. And like me and Henry comment back and forth all the time, and I know Chewy's in here too watching. Like we comment. Like I genuinely miss these guys, and I want to hang out with them. And when I see their stuff, I get excited and I comment on it. I don't know. Can you add more to that?
I think, I think 100%. I agree with you. I think you have to engage to get engagement. Like if you, whatever you think you want to get from people, if you want comments on your photos, you have to go on comments on other people's photo. If you want, if you just kind of post and then leave in Instagram, then people don't get to know you, don't get to learn about you, don't get to interact with you, then people just don't care about it anymore.
Yep.
Thank you for that. And then we have to show this. This is Chewy right here.
Thanks, Chewy.
Let's see.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, I'll drink to that too. I think you quickly talked about SEMrush. The question is, which keyword research tools do you guys use? So we drank already, so just talk. So you talk about SEMrush. Anything else that you know of that free that people can use, or?
We use SEMrush. The lowest level is like $100 a month. But for us, that's a great investment because it's an amazing tool. I think, I don't know if I can do that, but I have like a code too, an affiliate code that saves someone some money if they want that. But Ahrefs is another really good one. They're on par with SEMrush, same price point ish, and same features. It's like shooting Canon or Nikon. It's all depends like what you're comfortable with. Hashtag Sony.
Oh my gosh, I just realized like not almost. No, Chewy and Don don't shoot Sony, but you guys, Foxes, yeah. We all the Washington elopement photographers shoot Sony.
Yep, it's a cool thing to do. But there's a tool called Uber Suggest that used to be free. Now I think they charge for it. I think it's like $10 or $15 a month. That is probably a good alternative to paying the $100 for SEMrush. It gets the job done for cheap. And here's another thing too, and I think this is what Henry's doing, is there's people out there with like affiliate codes for like 30-day free trials for SEMrush. Do all your keyword research ahead of time so you know what words you want to look up. Sign up for the free trial. Do all the research, export spreadsheets or take screenshots, and then cancel your free trial. And then like if you really want to get crazy, you could do it again in a couple months and use a different email.
Don't tell the CEO of SEO Rush this.
Oh, sorry. But for us, it makes sense because we literally use it all day, every day to do research on our competitors, to do research for topics of our posts. So for $100 a month, it's a no-brainer for us.
Yeah. And for the people who want to use the trial version, I think no better time than now, truly, to be 100% honest with you. If you're just sitting at home and you feel, we all feel uninspired sometimes and just like we don't want to do stuff, but you have more time than to be honest, like any other time in the year, especially later on if you have to reschedule all of your weddings in the fall. And then in the fall, there's no way you can work on your website. Oh my gosh, just deliver.
Yes! What is that? That looks amazing.
I have no clue.
Stick your head in frame, please. I want to see you.
No, I look wrong.
He hasn't done his hair, so he's not going to show himself.
Okay.
Anyway, so another thing that not keyword research, as in like look up the, like if a certain keyword is get more searched or whatever. But if you just want to know a certain keywords, so you can use for your website right now, you can Google something real quick. Like let's say you're from Seattle and you just do Seattle wedding venue or Seattle wedding photographer and look up what do people use for their website, the people who's on page 1. And then on the bottom of Google search, it say like people also look up other terms. Those are the other terms that I also use for my blog post whenever I do a blog post. A blog post for me would take 5 hours. I mean, it does take me a long time to do a blog post to make sure I can optimize everything for it. So it's not something that you can do, like an hour.
Yeah, and doing the keyword research ahead of time helps. It's important to do that ahead of time, not write the article and be like, oh crap, I need to change everything for this keyword. And to jump ahead, I saw Chewy asked about picking the best title for SEO.
I'll bring that up. Where was that?
It's down a little ways. I don't want to skip around too much, but honestly, what you just said about Googling something. So if you want to rank for where to elope in Yosemite, Google search it and see who's the top 5 listings are and what their titles are. So also, here's the thing that people don't realize is the title on your page, the title of your post is different than your SEO title. Get that? So there's like, you can call this the page on WordPress, like Nick's favorite shoes, but like in Yoast or whatever tool you're using for SEO, there's an SEO title that shows up if you hover over the tab, or it shows in Google most importantly. But if you like hover over a tab, it'll show you the SEO title. That's the title that shows in Google. So you want to focus on your SEO title and your metadata, meta description. Sorry, because that's what shows in your Google search. But yeah, just if you're looking for ideas on what to use, Google search it and see who's ranking page 1 for those terms. And I would say don't copy off of them. Do it in your own lingo.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
Perfect. Another thing I think not being forced is do not stuff things.
100%. Yeah.
Like don't say gorgeous elopement wedding adventure with gorgeous sunset, beautiful wedding couple. Like that just, it sounds very repetitive and you're forcing things. And people from just like a reader standpoint, that sounds like a clickbait to me. So you don't want to sound clickbait.
Google's pretty smart. They can pick up on what you're talking about. We've done some keyword research, and the keyword like doesn't make sense. Like if it doesn't fit in a sentence, you can't write like about that keyword. But like if you write about the keyword in the way a normal human would talk, Google picks up on it, and you'll rank for it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Then I think this is Will's question. How often do you publish blogs? Okay, I'll drink this green drink.
Cheers, Will. I publish blogs, Wandering Weddings blogs 3 times a week. So we do, 3 blog posts a week. Sometimes more if we have time to get them in, but we have 3 scheduled every week. That's it. For Nick Plus Today, I don't have a schedule. Whenever I get to it.
Yeah. Then I think this is the last question we have on here, which is awesome because we're about an hour. As someone who views tons of style shoot and publishes them on Wandering Weddings, what tips would you give people when planning a style shoot if aiming to get featured? One last drink.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
So style shoots are tricky because there's not when we go to write a blog post on a styled shoot, there's no story behind it. Like no one wants to read about like how these vendors came together and put together this pretty shoot for this reason. So like what we end up using styled shoots for is for inspirational posts. So we usually, instead of featuring a full styled shoot as a whole, we'll use like a bunch of styled shoots in Yosemite, or that's just an example that I came up with, and use some of those photos in our resource posts for like, best places to elope in Yosemite or wherever it might be. That's just what we found. I'm not sure if other blogs feature full styled shoots or not, but for us, it's really, really hard to write a blog post on a styled shoot because there's no story there, right? And we don't want to lie about it,
right?
So we want to fit it into an inspiration post that it makes sense with. So
I almost feel like wedding style shoots are more like you have to really make it different.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be featured, then why would someone pick this style shoot to feature you instead of another style shoot they have seen on the internet? So for example, I cannot speak for you because I don't run Wandering Weddings, but personally as a wedding photographer, I keep seeing the ceremony with the triangle thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like people do the arbor thing that looks like a triangle and they put like a flowers. Like that was 2017. Right. Yeah. And then 2017, early 2018, when that arbor started blowing up, then everybody and their mothers want to do it. So if you're sitting at home right now and you plan a style shoot and you want to create that arbor, I don't see how it's new and inspirational for people who want to. It's almost in a way you have to set a trend for what this year is or what the latest trend is going to be.
Yeah. And if you're creating content for yourself and you want that in your portfolio, awesome, do it 100%. But if you're submitting something that's already been done to a publication and they've seen it before, it's probably not going to get featured. Style shoots are great, but do something that no one's done before. So when we see it, we're like, wow, we want to do a feature on that. Whether it be like a certain theme or a certain location. Just keep it unique. Do something different than it's been done before.
Awesome. So let's take that question off. I think the last thing that I have for you, the 2 questions I ask every single guest on here. One is, what have you been up to besides your baby? Of course, you've been like staying awake at night to feed her. And what you've been doing to keep yourself inspired, like business and personal life, anything you want to share with us?
Yeah. So what have I been doing? Taking care of a child takes up a lot of my time. I moved to this building, which we have a building on our property that has just been storage for us. But since having a child, every time she like cries or like Danae needs something, I would like run to like do it because I would hear it because I would be in the house. My office was in the house, and it wasn't very good for getting work done. So I moved out here, which allows me to like have more set hours. And then when I'm done, I literally like lock up and I try to be done for the day. And then go spend time with family. So that's helped. I need to decorate in here. As you can see, it's like an old table, an old couch, like it's some carpet that's going to come out. But I've been doing flooring in my basement. I tore up the green carpet and put flooring in. We've been having a lot of bonfires out back. That's what keeps us busy these days. I've been disinfecting groceries a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. No, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing all of these SEO and publication submissions knowledge and information. It's been super helpful. I'm so appreciative of you, and I'm pretty sure these guys watching this are super appreciative of you as well. If you guys just tune in right now, we are at the end of the whole thing, and today is the last day. So I will upload today's live onto my YouTube. I also have a blog post that contains literally 5 live streams that we've done for this week. This is the last of it. I don't know. I need to work on my website. I don't think I can do another series of live stream. I'm done. But thank you so much for tuning in here. Thank you so much. All right, one last cheers, and then we'll turn this thing off. 1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Thanks for having me.